Hi, wealth friends. This is Lynn and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite OTC stocks, Enzolytics, ticker symbol ENZC. So let's take a look. But before we do that, remember that OTC stocks are highly risky and I only invest money in them that I can afford to lose. High risk versus high potential reward. So let's go and look at what's going on with ENZC. But before we do that, if you could give this video a thumbs up in return for my effort bringing this information to you, I'd really appreciate it. And while you're at it, subscribe. So let's go and look at ENZC. As we know, ENZC is committed to the development of proprietary antiviral peptides and monoclonal antibodies for treating debilitating infectious diseases. So they have patented anti-HIV therapies and a proprietary methodology for producing fully human monoclonal antibodies for treating infectious diseases with non-toxic passive immunotherapy. So they've clinically tested anti-HIV therapeutic as well as anti-COVID type therapeutics. This article here from May 16th talks about Enzolytics, discussing the significance and revenue potential of its therapeutic platforms with the Stock Day podcast. Could you tell us about IPF Immune, they asked. And Dr. Chandra with Enzolytics added that the product IPF Immune stimulates the body's natural immune system without producing any side effects. It works as an immune booster that increases the ability of the immune system to fight infections. And in addition, it enhances recovery and reduces the recovery period after an illness. While we have already launched IPF Immune in the US, we've also launching the product in Europe and Canada in the next 3 months, Dr. Chandra said, noting the revenue potential of this product. So let's find out more about that. Dr. Chandra then elaborated on the significance of IPF Immune, citing positive results during testing against the coronavirus strain 229E. It actually showed comparable efficacy, but with 24 times lower toxicity than the widely used antiviral Tamiflu, said Chandra, noting the product's additional applications. Additionally, he said that our preliminary studies with IPF Immune have demonstrated significant in vitro neutralization activity against adenovirus. In the next couple of weeks, we will be sharing efficacy data with our shareholders. This is great news, and I'll make sure to bring detail to you about that as well. We have identified the conserved immutable targets in about 20 viruses. And then we went a bit further, Chandra said. We built AI-based three-dimensional models of these immutable targets and established linearity neutralization by antibodies or accessibility by antibodies before moving forward to develop monoclonal antibodies that target these specific sequences. We actually did the same thing for HIV viruses, he said. We identified 8 conserved immutable targets. The virus can mutate many times, but since these are conserved, it will remain unchanged. Chandra discussed the importance of AI-driven diagnostics. We are discussing partnership with diagnostic companies that have a track record of getting diagnostic tests through regulatory approval. I'm glad to hear he's getting help. And their help distributing these diagnostic tests for clinical use. As viruses mutate, the diagnostic tests for them have to be modified to identify each mutant of the virus, but not with Enzolytics solution. Since Enzolytics has the capability of identifying conserved targets, they are actually working to be a part of consortiums that are looking to prevent the next global pandemic, and that is very exciting. Chandra said, the AI platform significantly cuts down the time for our drug discovery and development. At Enzolytics, we build a product and put effort into R&D and then intend to partner with a larger entity, a large pharmaceutical company that could take Enzolytics to clinical stages very quickly, said Chandra. They need to make sure their products reach patients as soon as possible. I certainly agree with that. I'm sure you do too. The next product that Enzolytics has is ITV-1, which is an HIV therapeutic, and it's actually cleared phase 3 clinical trials. That's a big deal. And is preparing for introduction into 2 markets, he explained. The African market is a significant market because 65% of about 34 to 37 million HIV-infected individuals live in Africa. So looking for Enzolytics help. So now let's look at Enzolytics chart. First, we're going to look at the 2-year chart Each candle represents 1 week. You can see Enzolytics reaching a high in March of last year and then sliding back to the current levels. You can see a support level here of about a little over 6 cents. And it's interesting, you have the blue 50-day moving average and the purple 100-day moving average that are pretty much converging at this point. Next, we'll look at the 3-month stock chart. Each candlestick represents 1 day. You can see that the stock had a huge run up with those 2 very long green bars that went through April 28th, and it was a high of a little over 9 cents. Then it's kind of pulled back since then with another run up. You can see there's been one big selling day a couple days ago with a big red bar. And you can see the support level again here with the lime green bar. Next, let's look at a tweet about Enzolytics and it talking about their successful test in vitro against HIV, showing complete efficacy. So you see here HIV vaccine and Enzolytics ad about that and a comment from Charles Katropia, CEO. Now let's look at their historical short volume for ENZC. You can see in the past 5 days, the short volume has been definitely dropping off as the stock continues to do better. That's a big improvement over late April, where you could see it was more like an average of about 40% volume shorted. Let's take a quick look at the security details for ENZC. They have a market cap of 193 million. They have about 3 billion authorized shares. They have about 2.8 billion outstanding shares and a float of about 2.3 billion shares. This was as of March 31st. I'm looking forward to great things from this company, and I'm very excited about what they're doing for HIV patients and also to help with the continuing COVID crisis. I'd love to hear your comments below. Do you own ENZ stock? Are you considering investing in it? What are your thoughts about the future of ENZC? Also, make sure and go here and sign up for a newsletter so you could be notified before videos like this come out and about the latest hot movers in OTC land. Next, make sure and go here and see our latest videos on ILUS, AITX, Sybil, and many other hot movers, one coming up shortly also on Humble.